Hello, my name is Sonali Karnik, and I'm part of the Cisco Collaboration Product Marketing team, focusing on some of our key partner integrations with Webex. As you may know, with the recent events in the world, even this Cisco Live is a virtual event. And as with any other Cisco Lives, we still wanted to bring to you some of the key features that we have GA, but in this case, we will do that through this video stream. In today's session, we want to focus on the fact that Webex continues to innovate within itself, but also with respect to the integrations with third-party applications. This is part of our effort to continue to allow end users to have seamless workflows as they go between the various tools that the enterprise has chosen for them, while still giving them the choice and leveraging the investment in the Cisco applications that they have. In this session in particular, we would like to focus a little bit more on how Cisco Calling can be leveraged while enterprises use third-party messaging tools as with Microsoft and with Slack. So in today's session, we'll have Brian Morris, who has over 20 years of experience with Cisco, talk us through the integration. Brian has been a key technical product marketing lead for Cisco Jabber, and then moved into product management roles where he's been focusing on Cisco Calling integrations. And you may have seen him before from various other Cisco Lives as a distinguished speaker. So Brian, can you take it away and dive us a little bit into these integrations?
Well, thank you very much for that introduction, Sonali. And yeah, it's great to be on this stream today. So I'm going to talk to you about calling integration. So let's start with the obvious question. What is a calling integration? Well, a number of customers have come to Cisco and said that we're using Cisco Calling, we're using Cisco Video, it's part of our infrastructure. But from a messaging point of view, we're using Slack or we're using Microsoft Teams. What we need is a solution that allows us to bring these two environments together and allow us to use our Cisco Calling from that third-party messaging platform. So that's exactly what these calling integrations are. They are integrations that can be installed into those third-party messaging environments and will actually allow you to use your Cisco calling infrastructure from a third party. Now, what third-party applications are supported? Well, to start with, we are supporting Microsoft Teams, and we are also supporting Slack. So from within those environments, you can use your Cisco calling infrastructure. Now, what happens when I install the integration? Well, the integration is very simple to install. Once you've done that, either as an end user or an administrator, you will actually get additional calling controls that will appear within your user interface. If we're using Slack, then we will actually use the native Slack buttons. So the call button that you get at the top of the screen within Slack, when you click that, it will actually cause a call to be made using your Cisco infrastructure. If you're using Microsoft Teams, we will add some additional controls. We'll add a dial pad that will allow you, again, to work with your Cisco calling infrastructure. Now, the way the integration will actually work is you have the third-party messaging application, and when you actually make a call, the messaging platform will make a request to your Cisco calling client, be that Webex Teams or Cisco Jabber, which is installed, and in turn that will make a call, allowing you to either make a soft phone call on your device, that is on a Windows workstation, a Mac, and we also support mobile platforms as well, or it will allow you to make a call using your Cisco phone. So when you actually make when you click the button within the third-party messaging application, your Cisco phone will go off hook and actually make the call for you. Now, calling integrations are really simple to deploy. The reason for that is that they are client-side. That means there is no requirement to put any additional hardware in the back end. There is no requirements to change your dial plan, and there's no requirement to manipulate or change any of your routing. Once you've installed it, you've got the third-party messaging application talking to the Cisco application to make calling. Now, how do you install these calling integrations? Calling integrations are available from the app platforms associated to the third-party messaging platforms. So, for example, if you are using Slack, then you would go to the Slack app directory, you'd search for Cisco or Webex, and you would find the Webex Teams app or the Cisco Jabber app, and you would add it into Slack or into the workspace. If you're using Microsoft Teams, same thing. You go to the Microsoft Teams App Store, again, searching for Webex or Cisco, and you'll be able to find Jabber or Webex Teams and actually add them. And finally, licensing. Well, the good news is that the calling integrations are a free add-on that you can basically download from either the Slack or the Microsoft App Store, and they will leverage your existing licensing. So there's no additional licensing cost here. So very simple to deploy, and there's no additional licensing. So I think the most logical thing now is to give you a demonstration of what the calling integrations look like.
This is my Windows desktop. I'm running the Microsoft Teams application, and I've also got the Webex Teams app running in calling mode. So let me minimize the Webex Teams app out of the way and put the calling app here. Right, I want to add the Cisco calling integration to this. You'll notice I've already got the Webex Meetings application installed. If I want to add the calling integration, I can go into the Microsoft App Store, and if I actually type Cisco Webex, we'll type call, it will show me the two applications that I can install. I've got an integration for Webex Teams called Webex Call, and I also have an integration for Cisco Jabber. We're going to install the Webex Call version because we're using Webex Teams, and I do this by simply clicking Add. Now, if I was an administrator, I could actually also add this using a app setup policy and deploy it to a group of users. The Webex calling integration is exposed in a couple of areas in Microsoft Teams. We expose a dial pad, which allows you to make calls, and we also add controls inside a conversation. So let's look at that first. Here I've got a conversation with Charles Holland. We've actually had a chat. We'd like to escalate now to a call. And to do that, I simply click the call button that's been added at the bottom here. You can see it says Webex Call. Clicking on there will pull up a contact card, and it will give me Charles's details. By default, it will call his work number. If I click here, it will actually give me an option to dial a alternative location, that is his mobile number or a SIP address. When I actually want to make the call, I simply hit the green call button, and what that will do is bring the Webex calling window in Webex Teams to the front, and you can see we're making the call out to Charles. Now that's the first part of the integration. Let's go back to that dial pad. If I want to call another number, I can actually do that here in the dial pad. So let's say if I wanted to dial 4002, I could do that and hit the green call button. I can also in here type a SIP URI. So imagine I wanted to call a room system, so I could do room@cisco.com and again hit the green button. But what I can also do is type a name in here. So if I start typing a name such as Smith, it's giving me a list of contacts, and these are all Outlook contacts that I've defined in my Microsoft 365 environment. So these could be suppliers, these could be customers, basically anybody I wanted to define. And again, when I actually click on one of them, in this case Mike Smith, we get the familiar contact card that gives me the option to select a number. Hitting the green button again will allow me to make that call. So as you can see, very simple to install and very simple to use.
So that was the Microsoft Teams integration. So you actually saw how we can actually use that from the Microsoft Teams application to make calls using your Cisco infrastructure. Now, when it comes to Microsoft, Cisco has a number of different integrations that will allow you to complement your Microsoft cloud environment with Cisco calling infrastructure. So calling integrations are just one of the integrations that we have. What I would suggest you do is you talk to your Cisco account team, who will actually be able to take you through all of the different options available to you for bringing the two environments together. If you'd like to try the integrations, as I said earlier on, the Microsoft integration is available from the Microsoft App Store. You can just download it, and the Slack integration again is available from the Slack app directory, and again it's very easy to install.
Great, thank you very much. I believe we also have a really good blog that's written by Brian that covers these integrations that can be accessed from the Cisco Collaboration blogs as well as from cisco.com on our collaboration strategic alliances page, where we have these and several other integrations highlighted. Thank you, everyone.